now we're going to jump into the hair. Now the hair you can do in lots of different ways. If you have really pale hair, if you're blonde or you have light brown hair, you want to start with a lot of texture like this because you are not going to do a lot of blending on that. If you have dark hair like me, you want to go in and you want to have a lot of dark lines just to begin with. All right, and fill that up. So you're going to have one of these two things. Now, if you happen to have another pencil that's darker, like an ebony pencil, not a colored pencil, that will be terrible. Don't do that. Stick with pencil. If you don't, your regular pencil is still fine. All right, you can see my ebony pencil is just a little bit richer, makes things a little bit easier. All right, so that's another option, but not colored pencil. Oh my gosh, please don't use colored pencil. Okay, so over here, I'm gonna start with this part. Once you get some value in, what I'd like you to do is just like the eyebrows, we are gonna start by just quickly smoothing over that. Now it is not going to erase all of those texture lines. It's not gonna smooth all of them out. But what it's going to do is it's going to give us a little bit of texture and a lot of fullness. It is going to fill in your hair really quickly because it just gives you that little bit of texture that sneaks through on those lines that don't get blended smooth. Now, after I do this, I can go back in and I can add some more lines specifically for just the darkest parts. And I can do different shapes, like sometimes V shape up, V shape down. And I just want to add in wherever I see the darkest strands or chunks of hair. Maybe it's like a chunk like this. I could do that. And I just want to add those kinds of things in to do texture over that and make it seem a little bit more like strands of hair, but still really full. So if you have blonde hair or light brown, you want to do something like this. If you have hair that's a lot darker, if you have dark brown hair, if you have black hair, we're going to do something a little different. So I'm going to try that over here. The darker your hair is, the more value you want to start with, and we're going to do the same thing. But I just want to show you how much more pencil I added on this side versus the other side. Okay, and I'm going to not use the ebony pencil. I'll go back to the pencil that you have in your kit, just in case you don't have an ebony pencil. Totally okay. All right, I just added a lot more lines in here to make it seem fuller to start with. And because it's a lot more lines, even if we add lines on top, you're not going to see it as much. So we are going to do this awesome trick, which is reverse drawing. So in reverse drawing, instead of adding more, you start to take things away. So I can take my eraser, I can take the chunk eraser that I gave you guys, or I can take this eraser, my pencil. It depends on whichever one is sharper. So I can take this and I can start to reverse draw and draw in strands of hair that are lighter. And again, I can make those into like Y shapes, V shapes. All these things start to feel like hair. And again, if it gets too light, I can just kind of smooth this out. And then I just go back near where some of these Y shapes are, and I add just a little bit of pencil lines near those because they are lighter. And so that pencil shows up and gives a little bit of texture. You can draw over them and just a little bit, and that's it. And it's really about the erasing. So if I want a really bright highlight, I go in and I take away a lot. If I feel like it's too bright, I just go over with my blending stick ever so slightly. But it gives you that texture just like this one, but they are reversed. In this one, I started with light pencil, and then I drew, I smoothed it out, and then I drew over it with more pencil. On here, I did a lot of pencil. I erased some of it out, and then I just drew in a few strands. Okay, dark hair, light hair. You can go either way. Now I'm going to finish this up in class so you can see the end of it and show you what the final drawing is going to be looking like. But this is where you're going to spend your day today, is just going through hair.